Well, you know, I knew John was coming in for, before we started the North Missouri hunt, he was coming in for basically one evening. He got in the morning, I picked him up at the airport, and he had to go to work. And he thought he could possibly, you know, get out of work a little bit early to get out there and, you know, hunt the evening set.
So where do you think we should hunt tonight?
I don't know.
I think we should hunt Anamosa.
That wind's not right for Anamosa.
Well, the spot that I wanted to hunt, Dave had several cam tracker pictures of mature deer, and I just felt like the conditions were right. It's a dark moon phase. We had a front moving in. I just felt like the deer were going to be moving, so I was pressuring Dave to go ahead and hunt that set. I think if we walk in, the wind will be okay walking in if we walk in the right way, and then we'll just have to, you know, take showers, scent free showers, and get our scent blocker suits on. And I know it's risky, but I think the deer are going to be moving. I think we could have a chance of harvesting a mature buck. I think they're going to be on their feet. And I told Dave, let's just wear our scent blocker suits. Let's, you know, spray down with our scent shield, and, you know, I think we'll be in good shape.
Well, we'll see. You go to work, I'll go to work, and we'll kind of both think on it.
Okay. I think. Remember, forget the wind, just hunt.
Yeah. Well, we just pulled off the hard surface, and for any hunter pulling off the hard surface on the gravel, it's always a good feeling. You know you're getting close to your spot, and it's late October. John's arrived from Seattle, and we're going to go join the Drury camp here this weekend in Missouri. But we're going to sneak out one time in the same spot where I killed my biggest deer ever. It might be too early, but we're going to give her a try. It wasn't the right wind conditions, and he had coaxed me all day long to hunt this one set that is kind of one of our favorite stands. I was willing to go in there on the wrong wind. As John said, we'll get all scent blockered up, and, you know, from head to foot, and we'll be basically, he said, invisible to their nose.
I've got a little surprise here today, I guess. I didn't know the corn was taken out, and it has to be pretty fresh because I was here not more than 4 days ago, and the corn was all still standing, and it's gone now. That's awesome. I'm really excited now for tonight. It'd be awesome to harvest a deer and have a good story to tell the juries at the camp this weekend and everybody.
In late October, it can be decent, but I have nice spots that I like to hunt the first couple weeks of October, and then I leave them alone until like the beginning of November. Now, I know some people, they love that last weekend, that Halloween weekend in October. They say they start seeing a lot of action. I typically don't go into my better spots to even check out to see if there's action going, so I could be missing stuff.
What we're hunting today is a skinny pinch. Behind me, right here, no more than 55 yards, is a cornfield, and right next to the edge, about the first 30 yards, is a biologic that I planted. And you can see that there's CRP right over here. So that's about another 60 yards that way. So we're right, if anything's gonna cross through this timber, it has to almost come through here, unless it's gonna head out in the open. Good spot. Excited for tonight.
What I like to do in late October is really try to identify what pattern the deer are on. Typically in that time of year, it's still bed to feed, and so what I'll do is I'll try to identify, you know, known bedding areas, identify the food source that they're utilizing from that bedding area, and set up my stand placement accordingly.
Well, we were only in, you know, probably an hour and 15 minutes, and we saw that first buck.
That's a nice buck, John. I don't think that's 2.5. No. It's a lot bigger.
This deer, I could tell that, you know, he was mature, maybe 4.5 years old. You know, he's a nice 10-pointer. Kind of skirted our location. Dave grunted at him a few times, but he just didn't quite come in.
Looked like a 10-point. You can see his tail standing up, and so he was definitely interested in the grunt call. He just never closed the distance.
What a close call. I thought we were gonna get lucky tonight.
Well, he slipped past us, that first buck did, and, you know, you're thinking, well, there goes my buck for the evening, you know, that's about the end of it. But it wasn't more than 20 minutes, and here comes another buck.
That deer coming in. That's a big nine. You heard that?
So he works his way in, but he just kind of kept feeding around in a little circle. And you know, my job as a cameraman is to make sure I'm laying down as clear and as good a footage as I possibly can. Well, you know, this deer's not making it easy on me. He's walking around in some really thick stuff, and you know, that makes it tough as a cameraman to make sure you're in focus and you're not just be a little bit out of focus. So I was doing my best to lay it down right. You know, I was doing the best I could to make sure Dave had a good hunt.
You know, he kept browsing and browsing and browsing, and you know, I thought he'd never come out of that thicket. Then I looked ahead of him, and I saw that, you know, we had that mowed trail going past another stand over there, and I thought, you know, he's gonna have to cross that mowed trail. The next thing is how do I get a shot at this animal? You know, how do I get him to close that distance for me?
Well, finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the deer started to move to our right. So I zoom out, I get the deer in focus. He's walking out on this perfect wide open logging road, and I know it's, you know, it's going to happen right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know, when I saw that arrow tracking and tracing towards him, and it looked good, it looked good, it looked good, and at the last minute, he kind of ducked, and my arrow just landed right behind his shoulder. It was like perfect.
You know, that was a pretty lengthy shot. It was at least 40 yards, but you know, Dave practiced all year, and he felt confident in the shot, and he made just a perfect shot.
Can you believe this? It is 4:58, the 23rd of October, and you see a shooter like that on his feet, and he is directly downwind. He is absolutely 100% downwind, and I'll prove that. Look at this. Wind is going right there, right where I shot. Thank God for scent blocker suits. He is one dead goose. I hit him perfect. Yeah.
I knew that arrow found its mark, and that I was a successful bow hunter that evening. I knew the last thing we needed to do was just go find him.
I was pretty excited for Dave. What an awesome thrill to come all the way from Iowa, have one day to hunt before we have to come down to North Missouri for dream season, and to have Dave make such a perfect shot. I was thrilled.
Look at this group. Wow. Look at that.